Does the gentleman from Tennessee rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Fleischman of Tennessee, pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Fleischman will vote no on the Representative Scanlon motion to move the previous question on House Res 38. Thank you. And Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Desjardins of Tennessee, pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Desjardins will vote nay on the Representative Scanlon motion to move the previous question on H-Res 38.
For what purposes does the gentlewoman from Massachusetts rise?
As the member designated by Ms. Frankel pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Frankel Bonamici pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Bonamici will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
Does the gentleman from Texas rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Fallon, Texas, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Fallon will vote nay on the Rep. Scallion's motion to move the previous question on House Resolution 38.
Indiana rise?
As a member designated by Mr. Baird of Indiana, pursuant to H-Res 881, inform the House that Mr. Baird will vote no on the Rep. Scanlon motion to move the previous question, H-Res 38.
New York rise?
As the member designated by Chairman Jerry Nadler pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Chairman Nadler will vote yea on ordering the previous question. As the member designated by Congressman Brendan Boyle pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Congressman Boyle will vote yea on the previous question. As the member designated by Chairwoman Eddie Bernice Johnson pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Chairwoman Johnson will vote yea on the previous question.
Does the gentleman from Kansas rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Laturner, Kansas, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Laturner will vote no on the Representative Scanlon motion to move the previous question on House Resolution 38.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Eshoo pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Eshoo will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
The gentleman from Connecticut rise?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Adam Smith of Washington State pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Smith will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
What does the gentleman from Maryland rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Alma Adams pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Adams will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
Gentleman from Indiana rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Walorski pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Walorski will vote nay on the motion to move the previous question on H-Res 38.
What purpose does the gentleman from California rise?
As a member designated by Mr. Vella pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Vella will vote aye on ordering the previous question.
For what purposes does the gentlewoman from California rise?
As a member designated by Mr. Desaulniers pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Desaulniers will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
Does the gentlewoman from Maine rise?
As the member designated by Ms. Custer pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Custer will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
For what purpose does the gentleman from Pennsylvania rise? For what purposes does the gentleman from Pennsylvania rise?
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Lawson of Florida, 5th District, Congressional District, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform that Mr. Lawson will vote yea.
Versus the gentleman from Texas rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by
Next person.
Representative Fletcher pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Fletcher will vote aye on ordering the previous question.
Not ready. For what purpose does Kansas rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Lager Fernandez pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Lager Fernandez will vote aye on ordering the previous question.
For what purposes does the gentleman from Illinois rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Grijalva pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Grijalva will be voting yea on ordering the previous question. And as the member designated by Ms. Presley pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Ms. Presley will vote yea on ordering the previous question.
Purposes does the gentleman from Virginia rise?
Designated by Mr. Blumenauer pursuant to H.Res. 8, inform the House that Mr. Blumenauer will vote yes on ordering the previous question. As the member designated by Mr. Lowenthal pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Lowenthal will vote yes on ordering the previous question. As the member designated by Mr. Peters pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Peters will vote yes on ordering the previous question. As the member designated by Mr. Liu pursuant to H.Res. 8, I inform the House that Mr. Liu will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
Does the gentlewoman from New York rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Young of Alaska pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Young will vote nay on the motion to move the previous question on House Resolution 21.
Does the gentlewoman from Connecticut rise?
As the member designated by Ms. Wilson pursuant to H.Res. 965, I inform the House that Ms. Wilson will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
For what purposes does the gentleman from Massachusetts rise?
As the member designated by Mr. Moulton of Massachusetts pursuant to H-Res 8, I will inform the House that Mr. Moulton will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
Purposes of the gentleman from New Jersey rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Bonnie Watson Coleman pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Watson Coleman will vote yes on ordering the previous question. And as the member designated by Mr. Albio Series pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Series will vote yes on ordering the previous question. And as the member designated by Mr. Bill Pascrell pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Pascrell will vote yes on ordering the previous question. And finally, Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Paul Tonko pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Tonko will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
For what purposes does the gentleman from California rise?
Madam Speaker, as member designated by Congressmember Napolitano pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Congressmember Napolitano will vote yes on ordering the previous question. And Madam Speaker, as member designated by Congressmember Costa pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Congressmember Costa will also vote yes on the previous question.
Does the gentlewoman from Virginia rise? For what purposes does the gentlewoman from Virginia rise? This is not.
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Porter pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Porter will vote yes on ordering the previous question. And as the member designated by Mr. McEachin pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. McEachin will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
Purposes does the gentlewoman from Michigan rise?
As the member designated by Mrs. Dingle pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mrs. Dingle votes yay on the previous question. As the member designated by Ms. Agsney pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Agsney votes yay on the previous question. As the member designated by Ms. Lee of Nevada pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Lee votes yay on the previous question. As the member designated by Ms. Captor pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Captor votes yay on the previous question.
Gentleman from Michigan rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Bergman pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Bergman will vote no on ordering the previous question. As the member designated by Mr. Lamborn pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Lamborn will vote no on ordering the previous question.
What purposes does the gentlewoman from Florida rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Payne of New Jersey pursuant to HRES 965, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Payne will vote yay on ordering the previous question. And Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Hastings of Florida pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Hastings will also vote yay on ordering the previous question.
Purposes does the gentleman from Virginia rise? For what purposes does the gentleman from Virginia rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Titus of Nevada pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Titus will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
Purposes does the gentlewoman from Florida rise?
Madam Speaker, as member designated by Mr. Buchanan of Florida pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Buchanan will vote nay on the Rep. Scanlon motion to move
the previous question on HRES 38. As the member designated by Mr. Jimenez of the state of Florida pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Jimenez will vote nay on Rep. Scanlon motion to move the previous question on HRES 38.
For what purposes does the gentleman from Washington rise?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As the member designated by Ms. Strickland of Washington, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Strickland will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
Does the gentleman from Massachusetts rise?
Good evening, Madam Speaker. As the member designated by the Honorable Mr. James Langevin of Rhode Island, and pursuant to House Resolution 965, I'd like to inform the House that Mr. Langevin will vote yes on the motion to move the previous question on House Resolution 38. Thank you.
The gentlewoman from California rise.
Madam Speaker, as the member designate by Mr. Mondaire Jones of New York pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Jones will be voting yes on ordering the previous question.
Purposes does the gentlewoman from New Jersey rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Schneider pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Schneider will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
Purposes does the gentleman from Nebraska rise?
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Bill Rockus of Florida, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Bill Rockus will vote nay on Representative Scanlon motion to move the previous question on HRES 38.
Kirkpatrick, pursuant to HR 8, I inform the House that Representative Kirkpatrick will vote aye on ordering the previous question. As a member designated by Representative Cardenas, pursuant to HR 8, I inform the House that Representative Cardenas will vote aye on ordering the previous question.
What purposes does the gentleman from Pennsylvania rise?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As a member designated by Mr. Doyle of Pennsylvania, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I hereby inform the House that Mr. Doyle will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
For what purposes does the gentlewoman from Illinois rise?
As a member designated by Mr. Carson pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Carson will vote yes on ordering the previous question. As the member designated by Mr. Rush pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Rush will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
For what purposes does the gentlewoman from New York rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Deutsch of Florida, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Deutsch will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
For what purposes does the gentleman from Ohio rise?
Okay. As a member designated by Mr. Gonzalez of Ohio, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Gonzalez of Ohio will vote no on ordering the previous question.
the gentlewoman from Pennsylvania rises.
As the member designated by Ms. Wild pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Wild will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
What the gentlewoman from Michigan rise.
As the member designated by Ms. Ocasio-Cortez pursuant to House Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Ocasio-Cortez will vote yes on ordering the previous question. I'm good, darling. I'm good.
For what purposes does the gentleman from California rise? For what purposes does the gentleman from California rise?
As the member designated by Congressman Jerry McNerney pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. McNerney will vote yes on ordering the previous question.
For what purposes does the gentleman from Maryland rise?
As the member designated by Ms. Jayapal pursuant to House Resolution H, I inform the House that Ms. Jayapal will vote aye on ordering the previous question.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. See if I got this working properly. Can anybody tell me if you can hear me, please? In chat. That'd be awesome. Anybody hear me? Anybody? Hey. Hi, Rachel. All right. This is James. I am the owner, editor, guy behind the curtain for the Kraken Institute, Protester Privilege, and the Gaslight Report. Appreciate everybody coming out. I apologize for the issues we've been having with the live stream today. I use Restream, which is a service that allows me to stream to multiple platforms at the same time. For some reason, they were having technical issues. So while I was streaming, it was only getting pushed to the platforms for the last 5-10 minutes of Trump's event earlier in the first stream for this. Basically, what we just watched is the Democrats vote to send a letter to Mike Pence asking him to invoke the 25th Amendment. 25th Amendment has nothing to do with impeachment. 25th Amendment basically states that the president is no longer able to perform his duties as a president. The last time it was invoked was George Bush had surgery, the younger one, and vote the 25th to give Dick Cheney.
On this vote, the yeas are
Well-
219 and the nays are 206. The previous question is ordered. The question is on the adoption of the resolution. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it.
Request the yeas and nays.
Pursuant to Section 3S of House Resolution 8, the yeas and nays are ordered. Members will record their vote by electronic device.
All right. So, quick rundown on what just happened. The vote we just had was to bring the question forward for a vote. As you can see, that just passed. And now we're actually voting on sending the letter to Mike Pence. So this should go rather quickly.
Members of the gentleman from Texas rise.
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Baird from Indiana, pursuant to H.Res. 8-1, Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. Baird will vote no on the Rep. Scanlon motion, on the motion to pass the rules.
All right, so basically, now they're voting for actually sending the letter. To everyone that is asking where Nancy Pelosi is, Nancy Pelosi, when this session first started hours ago, was there for the first 4 or 5 minutes. She then delegated her authority to Cynthia McKinney, who is the black lady sitting at her seat, and then she left. The same thing she did yesterday, except she gave her authority to Representative Dingler yesterday for the couple hours they were doing things. So Nancy is alive. She did show up for the first 5 minutes, and she delegated her authority to Cynthia McKinney and then left. Where she is right this second, I have no idea. I'm assuming, I don't know, eating children. Whatever Nancy Pelosi does, maybe she had a hair appointment. So yeah, the 25th Amendment basically transfers the power of the president to the vice president for either a temporary period of time or an elongated period of time, a permanent amount of time. In this case, obviously, there's only a week left. If Mike Pence, and the 25th Amendment requires the participation of the vice president. Vice president has to initiate, and he has to garner a majority of the cabinet heads. So the Secretary of Cabinet. As you can see, I posted on Kraken Institute's Facebook page a copy of the letter that Mike Pence sent to Nancy Pelosi this morning, saying, but now with, and this is quoting, but now with just 8 days left in the president's term, you and the Democratic caucus are demanding that the cabinet deny and vote the 25th Amendment. I do not believe that such a course of action is in the best interest of our nation or consistent with our Constitution. Last week, I did not yield to pressure to exert power beyond my constitutional authority to determine the outcome of the election. I will not now yield to efforts in the House of Representatives to play political games at a time so serious in the life of our nation. Mike Pence is not going to invoke the 25th Amendment. So you ask, why are they even doing this? One, political theater. They'll be using this for Democratic political ads forever. especially if they are unable to remove Trump from power in a manner that precludes him from running again in 2024 or remaining in power for this term. Basically, this isn't going to work. It was never going to work. They are wasting time. The next step is for Nancy Pelosi in the morning to start the impeachment process. Impeachment is completely separate. It is a process that is in place for basically Congress without the need of the vice president in a criminal aspect, remove the president from power. Impeachment, the term impeach, is synonymous with the term indictment in the normal course of criminal court. So the House votes to indict the president. As we can see, he's already been impeached by this House once for the Ukraine call. There is no finding of fact. It is a very political driven process. He will be impeached again if Nancy Pelosi brings it tomorrow. The House is going to vote to impeach him, and he will become the first president to become impeached twice. The actual important part is the trial in the Senate. Now, the trial in the Senate only has two forms of recourse if they find him guilty, and it requires a 2/3 majority, a supermajority, to find the president guilty. So in this case, it would be 66 senators, which would require at this point 16 Republican senators to split from the party line and vote to remove the president from his position. Now, they can remove the president, find him guilty, and only do one of the two remedies, which is to remove. Now, it has been held that anyone that is found convicted is automatically removed. That's set in the language of the Constitution. The second and separate remedy, and that it requires a second vote. So with impeachment at the trial in the Senate, they first vote for a supermajority to convict or not convict. As we saw in the Ukraine situation, they didn't have enough votes. He was not convicted. He was not removed from his position. Now, if they do get 66 senators to vote to remove him, there is a separate vote. And that separate vote is to disqualify him from ever holding an office of honor, power, or how's it worded? Honor, power, or a position where you can make money working for the United States. So basically, he'd never be able to run for public office again. Now, while that remedy is given to the Senate to vote upon, it is not clearly written in the Constitution what the vote has to be. Now, throughout history, that vote has been held to be a simple majority. So they only need 51 senators. And they have 51 senators between Romney and a couple of the rhinos. They could easily get 51, have 50 of their own. Now, the problem with that is if they vote to disqualify, there is no constitutional basis for it being a simple majority. So that is something that could be fought. So she's going to start the impeachment process tomorrow. That's what we need to watch out for. There is a third avenue that she mentions in her letter Sunday. And that is the 14th Amendment, Clause 3. And that basically says that if you've been found to aid an enemy or attempt to overthrow the government, you can be removed and criminally charged for that. So I'll put more information up about that. That'll be a last-ditch effort if impeachment doesn't work. So lots going to be happening over the next couple of days. Is there a logical reason to remove him from power in the last 6 days of his presidency? No. Understand the entire goal of everything you will see this week is to ensure, because they believe that he will not continue in this term, is to make damn sure there is no way he can run for office again. Now, this letter being sent to Pence, why could that be important? I've read a couple articles, I've talked to a couple people that are more constitutionally knowledgeable than I am. And they bring up the point that by telling Pence why they think he should invoke the 25th, they could be doing an end run and attempting to run the 25th Amendment on both of them, saying that the president and the vice president are unable to fulfill their duties, and basically doing a huge coup. So, I don't know. It's just a lot of theater. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. But I will tell you this: if you've been paying attention for the last couple months, there has been a call, and there is a growing call, that if for some reason Trump does not retain his presidential powers, they are going to try to criminally charge him as soon as he is not the president. So watch out for that. And part of what they're doing is they're trying to lay groundwork for those plans. Hi, Gina. I'm the bozo. I'm the guy that owns the site that you're on and you're commenting on. Thank you. Appreciate you too. So I'm going to put the audio back on for this, and I suggest everybody goes to the site and reads the letter from Pence to Pelosi in regards to what's going on right now. And real quick, everybody's still asking about Pelosi. Yesterday and today, she showed up for the first couple minutes of the session and delegated her authority to someone else. Tonight, you'll see the African-American lady with the big hair. It kind of looks like a Lost cast member from Hocus Pocus. That's Cynthia McKinney. And she is acting in Pelosi's stead at the moment. She has all of her powers in the House. Where Nancy Pelosi is anybody's guess. Eating children, getting the hair done. I don't know. Scheming, most likely. So, hope everybody's having a good night. keep faith. We'll be here as much as we can. Thank you.
Purposes, does the gentleman from Virginia rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Titus of Nevada pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Titus will vote yes on HRES 38.
Purposes, does the gentleman from North Carolina rise?
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Bishop of Georgia, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Bishop will vote yes. He will vote yes on HRES 38. Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Thompson of Mississippi, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Thompson will vote yes. He will vote yes on HRES 38. Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. Richmond of Louisiana, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Richmond will vote yes. He will vote yes on HRES 38.
Purposes, does the gentlewoman from Michigan rise?
As the member designated by Mrs. Dingle pursuant to House Resolution 8 will vote yea on HRES 38. As the member designated by Ms. Axney pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Axney votes yea on House Resolution 38. As the member designated by Ms. Lee of Nevada pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Lee votes yea on House Resolution 38. As the member designated by Ms. Capter pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Capter votes yea on House Resolution 38.
For what purposes does the gentleman from California rise?
As a member designated by Mr. Villa pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Villa will vote aye on HRES 38.
For what purposes does the gentleman from Texas rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Fletcher pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Fletcher will vote aye on HRES 38.
Does the gentleman from New Jersey rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Ms. Bonnie Watson Coleman pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Watson Coleman will vote yes on HRES 38. And as the member designated by Mr. Albio Series pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Series will vote yes on HRES 38. As the member designated by Mr. Bill Pascrell pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr. Pascrell will vote yes on HRES 38. And finally, Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Paul Tonko pursuant to HRES 8.
All right. For you
that
who
Mr. Tonko
are asking
will
what
vote yes
Nancy
on
Pelosi is
HRES
doing,
38. Thank
she
you.
just put out a news release. And I think we know what she's doing. She named the impeachment starting tomorrow.
As the member designated by Ms. Lager Fernandez pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Lager Fernandez will vote.
Tonight, I have the solemn privilege of naming the managers of the impeachment trial of Donald Trump. Pelosi. It is their constitutional and patriotic duty to present the case of the president's impeachment and removal. They will do so guided by their great love of country, determination to protect our preserve democracy and loyalty to our oath to the Constitution. Our managers will honor their duty to defend democracy for the people with great solemnity, prayerfulness, and urgency. So let's see what we got. Jamie Rest,
Purposes as a gentlewoman from Florida.
lead
rise.
manager.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As the member designated by Mr. Buchanan of the state
Ian
of Florida
Nicotto.
pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Mr.
David
Buchanan
Sicilian,
will vote nay on
Joaquin
HRES 38.
Castro, Eric Swalwell. So let's get this right.
For what purposes does the gentleman from Maryland rise?
I rise as the member.
She is
designated by
named
Jaya Paul pursuant to House Resolution
a
8,
congressman
and I inform the House Ms.
that
Jaya Paul will
has
vote aye on House Resolution.
knowingly been caught sleeping with a Chinese spy
For what purposes
as
does
an
the gentleman
impeachment.
from Indiana rise?
Mr.
Let that sink in.
Madam Speaker, as a member
Eric
designated by Ms.
Swalwell
Walorski pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Walorski
knowingly
voted nay on
slept
HRES
with
38.
a Chinese spy.
Does the gentleman from Washington rise?
And now
Thank you,
he's
Madam
an
Speaker.
impeachment.
As the member designated by Ms. Strickland of Washington, pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Strickland will vote yes on HRES 38.
I don't really know what to say about that.
The gentlewoman from
Who else
Maine
got it?
rise.
Ted Luo?
As the member designated
Ted
by
Luo.
Ms. Custer of
J.C.
New Hampshire
Plaskett.
pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that
Joe
Ms.
Nagode.
Custer will vote yes on HRES 38.
If I'm butchering these, I apologize. Madeline Dean. Okay. So, those asking where Nancy Pelosi has been, she's been
The
working
gentlewoman
up
from Virginia rise.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As the member
the
designated by
impeachment
Mr.
for tomorrow.
McMeekin pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform
Go
the
on,
House
everybody.
that Mr.
See that
McMeekin
real
will vote
quick?
yes on House Resolution
We'll go back
38.
to the
And as the member
show
designated
vote.
by Ms. Porter pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Ms. Porter will vote yes on House Resolution 38.
For what purposes does the gentleman from Pennsylvania rise?
Madam Speaker, as the member designated by Mr. Lawson of Florida, 5th Congressional District, pursuant to House Resolution 8, I inform the House that Mr. Lawson will vote yes on House Resolution 38.
For what purposes does the gentlewoman from Connecticut rise?
As the member designated by Ms. Wilson pursuant to HRES 8, I inform the House that Ms. Wilson will vote yes on HRES 38.
Sorry to interrupt again. Congressman Warren Bobart apparently trying to get into the House chambers with a gun. If you're not aware, she was the last person in the House to speak prior to the issues at the Capitol on the 6th. Today is the first day that they've had metal detectors in Congress. So, should be interesting to keep up with.
What purposes the gentlewoman from Michigan rise?
As the member designated by Ms. Ocasio-Cortez pursuant to House Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Ocasio-Cortez will vote yes on House Res 38.
For what purposes does the gentlewoman from California rise?
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Mr. DeSaulnier pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Mr. DeSaulnier will vote yes on H-Res 38.
For what purposes does the gentleman from California rise?
Madam Speaker, as a member designated by Ms. Eshoo pursuant to H-Res 8, I inform the House that Ms. Eshoo will vote yes on H-Res 38.
All right, with the votes now, if everybody remaining voted nay, it'd be 216 to 217. So it passed. The House will send a letter to Mike Pence saying they think that he should strongly consider passing the 25th Amendment challenge. As already said, Mike Pence has already replied telling her to get bent, so that will not happen. A lot going on right now. The impeachment managers for the impeachment the impeachment process starting in the House tomorrow have been named. Of importance is Eric Swalwell. Haven't been aware of the controversy surrounding him. He slept with a Chinese national that has been identified as a Chinese spy. This is important because he sits on the House Intelligence Committee and is privy to a lot of intelligence information that is highly classified, and is probably the single greatest security breach the country's had in a generation. However, due to the fact that he's a Democrat and the Democrats are in control of the House, there's been absolutely no movement on removing him from his position on that committee, investigating it further, bringing up charges, anything. Last I read, Chinese national had been expelled from the country. So he is going to be one of the impeachment managers, which is probably one of the most ironically unfunny, just disheartening things I think I've read in a while, but at this point in the country's history, not at all surprising. So, should tell you exactly where Nancy Pelosi's head's at. But then again, she tried a military coup last week, so apparently right is wrong and wrong is right, and the world is upside down. I'm gonna go ahead and end this stream. As soon as this is called, they are going to recess the House until morning. Nancy Pelosi should be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for the impeachment process, which she will stand at the center of. We will bring it to you live. I'm going to try to start the stream early, so I've had the same problems I had tonight where there was a lag between starting the stream and actually getting to Facebook and YouTube and everything. I'm also going to try to stream live to the website, or all three websites actually, so that if we get deplatformed, you can always go to the website and I can stream to there and not have to worry about censorship. So, everybody have a great night. Keep up with the Facebook page, website. Now that Gab is fixed some of their issues, we'll be over there too. Gab.com/Kraken Institute. That will end up being our primary social platform. I'm working on getting live streaming working over there too. So, we have a great night. Stay safe, stay sane. God bless America. We'll catch you.